So last year for Bookmas, I ended up doing these books will self-destruct in 12 months TBR. And it seemed like a great idea at the time. Seemed fabulous. I was going to read all of these books in 12 months. I had a full year to do it. If I wanted to unhaul them, then I absolutely could. It was going to be great. Well, here we are a year later, and I have not looked at this list again since I made it. I was really hoping that I would like naturally remember all of them, but not really sure that I have. So we're gonna watch back the video, see what all I had on here, and if I've managed to read them, and if not, it is time for an unhaul. Okay, so let's just play the video and see what the first book was that I put on this list. Scoot over here so you guys can see it. There are some books that have been on my TBR for far too long, and there definitely are. Okay, we're gonna skip past the intro so that we can see what the first book was. What books that I still was semi-interested in, but knew that if I did not get to them, I never would. The first one is going to be She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. Okay, so She Who Became the Sun, I actually unhauled. I talked to Cassidy about it, and she really loved the first book, but said that the second book honestly wasn't worth it. And considering I was so on the fence about this book and whether or not I even wanted to pick it up to begin with, I just decided that if the second book wasn't as good, that I was just going to go ahead and unhaul. So I actually think that happened relatively early in the year, and I don't even think I have it in my unhaul piles anymore. So that is one book that we already preemptively unhauled. What was number 2? Then we have Furyborn by Claire Legrand. Okay, so here's the thing. I have actually already unhauled Furyborn, but I've been thinking of rehauling it. I got rid of it around the same time that I did She Who Became the Sun. I was in a very big, like, yeet these off of my shelves kind of mood that day. I was filming one shelf and looked at it and went, I don't even know what shelf to pick because there's so many books on here that I don't want to read. So I will actually leave that video if you guys missed it up on the screen, but I unhauled like 70 or 75 books that day. And I think that this was in that pile, but I felt a little impulsive at the time, and I'm like, what if I just read it on, is it on KU or from the library, and still read it? So yes, this book is off my shelves. No, I did not read it because honestly, if it's not on my shelf, sometimes I forget that it exists, but it's still in the back of my brain of like something that I wouldn't mind trying in the future. So if you think that I should consider it, not rehaul it because it's already gone and I'm not going to rebuy it without reading it, but if you think that I should consider like reading it, trying it, please let me know down in the comments because I have really thought about it and I can be easily influenced. This one if I don't make it a priority, but this is one of those that if I unhaul this one, I have to unhaul the whole series, and that's Valor. Oh. I never picked Valor back up. Crap. I don't want to unhaul that series. Okay, so here's the thing. Struggle bus. Okay, I needed to reread Malice, and I just wasn't sure that I wanted to reread Malice to get into Valor, but I thought about it, and then it just felt like a lot to have to reread Malice to go into Valor, and then I just didn't do it, and now they're sitting there, and now what do you mean that I have to unhaul them? What do you mean? But I didn't prioritize them, but like, look, these are the rules. I know these are the rules, but they're really bad rules. Okay. I'm gonna go get them. I'm gonna pull them off my shelf, and we're gonna put them in the stack to be unhauled. Is this a cheat? This feels like a cheat. Is it a workaround? I'm not really sure if it's a smart workaround or a cheat. If I manage to get to them before the books leave my house, then I get to keep them. But I can't not get the books out of my house just because I haven't read it yet. Is that a smart workaround? You're probably going to tell me no. I'm going to pull them off the shelves anyway, and you can tell me no down in the comments. Here they are in all their glory. They're so big, like I'm going to get rid of so much space. And yes, I am wearing pajama pants to film. Don't judge me. It's kind of like a mullet. We're party up top and relaxed on the bottom. Anyway, so this is not, like, Shadow of the Gods is not a part of this series, but this is the book that I liked the least out of these. So if I'm going to unhaul these 4, I think I'm just going to go ahead and unhaul Shadow of the Gods while I'm at it. But just look at them. Look at them. Look at how like floppy and thick and okay. I'm gonna quit whining. I did this to myself.
This as well, but the one that I'm going to officially be saying is Fall of Ruin and Wrath by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I've actually read the first.
Okay, so I think what I said at the beginning of this was I was going to unhaul all of the Jennifer L. Armentrouts, which I did do. I did unhaul everything but Fall of Ruin and Wrath, which is over here. Got it. So this is on my December TBR. I have intentions of reading this in December. It is only December 6th at the time of me filming this video, which is roughly a year since I filmed the self-destruct. I think it was like December 12th or something last year. So, hear me out. I have too many workarounds for this video. You guys should have known I like get rid of books. Hear me out. If I read this before the end of December, because it is on my December TBR, if I read this before the end of December, I can keep it if I like it. If I don't like it, obviously it's going to go anyway. If I don't read it by the end of December, it must go. Regardless of how I feel about it, it's got to go. Sound good? I feel like that's workable because I had an inkling that it was on this TBR. I thought that I had put it on here, but I couldn't really remember. So that's why I did put it on my December TBRs, because I knew I needed to get to it before it self-destructed. And I think that I just found like some magical something or another that gave me an extra like 10 days to read it.
On my radar. Then we have again another entire series, and that is going to be the Dark Tower series. I read Gunslinger, actually found it pretty interesting.
RIP! Another one that I didn't do. Okay, so I read The Gunslinger a long time ago. I don't remember really anything about this book, honestly, but I did remember enjoying it enough that I wanted to continue, and I've heard that this sci-fi series is really, really good and one of people's like all-time favorite series, and I bought the box set without having read anything except for this first one, but I've also heard this first one is vastly different than the rest of the books in the series, so I was like, I need to give it a try. I need to prioritize this series this year, at least read one book, and if I read The Wastelands, then I can keep the series. Yeah, I didn't do that. I saw them, I knew they were there, but I didn't do that. So this is one I'm not going to argue with you about. I am going to unhaul these. If at some point I decide to pick them up, it can be a library read, but I just think that I have leaned away from sci-fi in the last year, and I don't know when I'm going to circle back to it. And I know this is like not true sci-fi, but yeah, I'm just gonna, this is only book one because there's like 9 of them and I didn't want to hold them all up, but we'll unhaul it. We'll do what we're told. It's self-destructed.
Then we have The Hawkling by Rebecca Zahabi. This is actually the second.
Okay, The Hawkling. I want to say that that also went in that unhaul that I told you guys about. Yeah, I don't see it where it would normally be. I think I unhauled books 1 and 2 and never bought the special edition of book 3. I liked The Hawkling a lot. I thought that the world building was so interesting, but I just wasn't invested enough in the story to pick up the sequel, and then slowly but surely my memory of what happened in The Hawkling just... not The Hawkling, of what happened in book 1 just went away more and more to the point where I think I would have had to reread book 1 in order to continue in the series, and I wasn't invested enough at the time to do that, so I did unhaul that series, and that is one that I do not have any intentions of rehauling. I think that while I enjoyed book 1, I'm going to be happy with having read book 1.
Another romantasy, and one that I'm very sad to put on this list because this author wrote one of my favorite duologies of all time, and that is Carissa Broadbent and Daughter of No Worlds.
Yes! I did a good thing! So, it's sitting right here. I don't want to unhaul this trilogy. I think that these are far too pretty. They match in height to the rest of my editions, and I don't want to get rid of them. Plus the new covers, I don't like the new covers. I knew that this book was on this list. Your girl was like, I'm not getting rid of that. It is not self-destructing. So I actually started this about 3 days ago. I started it. I am a solid 40% into this book. I don't have to self-destruct it. It has been started. It is being actively worked on. It is my current read, and I'm not getting rid of it. Sneak peek, I am enjoying it, but it's not, I don't think, going to be a new favorite like the Crowns of Nyaxia duology is, but I am enjoying it overall, but I don't have to unhaul it. It's not going to self-destruct. I get to keep it. I'm so excited.
To unhaul at the very beginning of the year when she was here, and I was just like, but what if I hold on to it a little bit longer? So it's time to officially put it on the self-destruct TBR, and that is The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig.
Did I unhaul that? I did. I think I did. I don't see it currently, and I remember having this war with myself, especially when Lexi was here, but then after the fact about whether or not I was going to keep that. So I actually got The Staircase in the Woods by Evernight, and I want to try one of his books, and so I decided to keep the one that was prettier. I got rid of the Book of Accidents and kept Staircase in the Woods to try. If I love Staircase in the Woods, I can get the Book of Accidents again later, but it's been on my TBR for like 4 years. I don't even know when it came out, maybe not that long, but it's been on my TBR for a very, very, very long time, and I just have not been prioritizing it, so I don't anticipate trying to pick it up, but I can if I want to, but I did want to keep Staircase in the Woods, so we made a compromise.
Make a few people sad, and it's also one that I will need to unhaul the whole series if I don't get to, and that's Murderbot with Network Effect. I was doing well.
Okay. I know that this crushes a lot of people's soul, but no matter how hard I've tried, I just cannot get into the Murderbot series. I wanted to be on the hype train so badly, but I just found them to be a little bit, I won't say boring, but I just wasn't invested. And I think a lot of that does have to do with like the serial novella type thing. And I know Network Effect was like the first big full novel in the series, but I just didn't care enough to get to it. On top of the fact that I didn't remember anything that happened in the first 4 novellas. So how was I supposed to read that book when I didn't know what happened in the first 4? So I've actually already unhauled these. I just knew that I wasn't going to make it a priority. I don't remember when I unhauled them, somewhere around middle of the year, I think, when I realized that I kept overlooking them. Like, I knew they were there and just kept ignoring them, and decided not to keep them on my shelves. Is there any other books on this, or are we finally done?
It's scary. It seems like a lot. So those are the 10 books that if I don't read them before the end of the year are going to self-destruct off my TBR. I will need to be unhauling them if they're not read by the end of 2025. Tell me.
Okay, I did say, you heard me say by the end of 2025. So that means that this one I have until at least the end of the year to read. I'm currently working on Carissa Broadbent. Does that mean that if I start Malice by the end of the year, that I can keep it? I don't know if I'm gonna do that. We'll think on it. We don't have to make the decision right now, right? Yeah? Okay. We are going to be actively unhauling the Stephen King series for sure. Potentially all of my John Gwynne books, potentially Fall of Ruin and Wrath, and the rest of them, other than Daughter of No Worlds, have already been unhauled. So really Daughter of No Worlds is the only one that I'm like 100% sure at the moment is staying on my TBR. But if I hate it, then it's going to self-destruct anyway. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming to a One Shelf episode near you very, very soon. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. This was a time. This was stressful. I was not sure what was on this list. I definitely knew some of the books on this list, but I clearly forgot a few. So let me know if you enjoyed this, if you want me to make a new self-destruct TBR for 2026. I'm trying to like look and see what I would put on that, and there are a few things that I could put on that list that I don't want to because I'm afraid they would self-destruct, and I'm not ready to get rid of them yet, but let me know. If you want to watch the full original video of what was going to self-destruct, I will leave it up here for you guys to check out, as well as Becca from Becca in the Books down in the description box below. She originally created this whole idea, so definitely wanted to mention that as well. As always, thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.